Regular viewers with an eye for detail may have noticed that starting with episode 30, there has been no white sheet behind me. I cleaned up my office to a significant extent, and I was able to kind of create a nicer background here with my bookshelf and my piano right over there. I've been trying out some different angles there for different projects. We'll see if it sticks. I do like it better than a white bed sheet, but we'll see what happens as we head into episode 32 of A Body in Progress. I'm going to postpone what I had planned for this episode and move it to the next one and make this episode something I haven't done since episode 9, which is answering a bunch of viewer mail. I try to keep it relevant. If somebody asks a question that I know will be appropriately answered in an upcoming episode, I try to save it for that. These are things that people have commented on or questions they've asked that just don't really go anywhere else specifically, so I'm going to just take these 20 minutes to answer them now. So let's do the whole mailbox thing. Episode 28 was my look back at 2019 and how I fared in completing my goals. And a couple people had things to say about the things I had to say. David Van Mersgergen said, sorry about that, David. I like the name, I just have never had to say it out loud before. David Van Mersgergen says, it takes a lot to review your goals in front of a lot of your viewers. I'm happy to say, and I think I've said it before, I can say and do just about anything here in my office with just a video camera and me. It's very easy to be brave when you're not actually facing anyone. I have in the past had people say, hey, I saw your latest episode. In person, they see me and say, yeah, I watched your channel, and I just, there's a part of me that wants to shrivel up and die. Mark Prickett, my trainer in 2012, actually once had his cell phone out. We were driving together to something, and he said, "Oh, let's watch one of your episodes." I wanted to pull the car over and boot him out, but anyway, thank you, David, for the encouragement, though. As long as it's just me and a camera, I'll be happy to review my goals. One of my goals was getting my body fat down to 10%. Did the sun just get brighter? Let me adjust. One of my goals for 2019 was to get my body fat down to 10%, and as I noted in episode 28, I did not achieve that. Doug Hampton said, at 35 plus in age, you're not going to hit 10-8 and the stage requirement of 5 without any type of injections. It's just not possible. Out of wild curiosity, and not to scorn Doug or object, but just out of wild curiosity, I took that statement to a Facebook forum that I belong to called the Dad Bod Transformation. Shameless plug. A great place to go. 30,000 plus guys all dealing with various levels of fitness. And said, what do you guys think? I got a wide variety of responses, some of which I cannot quote. They summed up to tell Doug to go somewhere else. I'm not going to tell Doug to go somewhere else because this much I've learned about the fitness world. Everybody's got an opinion. What works for them, they are confident will work for every other guy. And so, you know, who knows? For me at my age and my body and my testosterone levels and whatever life has planned for me, maybe I never will hit 10%. And maybe the guys on Dad Bod Transformation are right, and 10% is well within my grasp if I just put my head down and charge ahead. I don't know. I just thought I'd bring that up. I thought I'm taking Doug's comment into consideration. I'm also taking the responses of the people at the Facebook group into consideration, and just thought I would present that little piece there. regarding my goal of completing a pull-up, Walter watched the sample shot that I put up, my test shot, and he said, no, you got a pull-up in. You did full extension, so count it, brother. I don't yet. It's a personal thing. I felt like my chin needed to go a couple more inches up without my stretching for it. So I am still going to stand by saying that in 2019, I did not achieve one pull-up. So we'll see what... Oh, excuse me. Wow. Obviously, Walter, your comment is just boring me to tears, so move on. No, sorry, I happen to be sleepy right now. Maybe I should have saved this for another time. I'm stumbling over names. I'm yawning. Got some more here. Moving on to episode 30. That was part 1 of the 6 months of the year, and where most of that episode ended up being my telling my story about getting fired. Jivas, a YouTube user, says, I work at a nursing home, and I know people have done even TikToks while on the floors and still work despite obvious HIPAA violations. You got fired over an elevator selfie? I do not understand this world. I don't really want to belabor the whole issue of my getting fired. I don't want, future employers to stumble across these videos and say, well, what's he going to do if we fire him? How far is he going to take this? I presented what I presented in episode 30 just because I felt it was relevant at the time to what it kind of did to my fitness life. And I know that if I didn't mention it, people would be asking, how's the job going? And I'd have to explain it in a later episode anyway. And it fit. I mean, it happened. Anyway, it all fit in that point. Some things I want to say in response to G. Vuzz's comment. I was not fired specifically over the elevator selfie. I was fired over the fact that there was clothing removal for these selfies and office workouts, and that the company logo was visible in the background, and one in particular they really didn't care for because it went public on Instagram. As I said before, I did not intend it to go public. I don't even have the actual shot that got me fired. I don't even remember, really. I mean, it's yeah. So it was a little more than just the elevator selfie, but just wanted to point that out. Because I had actually several people write back and say, how dare they? I was fired fairly. I broke the company rules. I was fired mercilessly. That's also true. And one thing I learned in driving home on May 6th was if I'm ever an employer, if I'm ever in charge of hiring and firing, one of my company values is going to be mercy. If it's just an office employee doing something really stupid, but ultimately harmless, I'm going to do everything I can to justify keeping that employee and giving him a second chance. They did not give me anything. No probation, no write-up. It was, you're out. And that's their prerogative, and I've decided based on that experience that if it's ever my prerogative, mercy is the first word on my mind, if I can possibly justify it. Dominic from My Bodybuilding Network noted, when you get stuck in a job that sucks the life out of you, you end up really starting to hate everything. That is true, and I don't know if I expressed it quite this clearly in episode 30. I'll express it here now. Looking back 4 months later, I know I said I don't miss the job. I really, really have moved on in heart. Not away from video production and film production, not away from my dreams, but away from a job that was, despite having a studio and spotlights and video cameras, was doing absolutely nothing for my creative heart and soul. A lot of people had encouraging words saying, it was probably for the best. And I think it was. I think it really was. I was dying inside. It really was for the best. It was a stupid way to go, but it sure pushed me back out into seeing, what I need to do, what I need to focus on. Yeah, so there's that. One more here. Taylor from My Bodybuilding Network asks, have you been able to find another job? Yes, well, kind of. It's technically a job. On the May 7th, knowing that bills were going to keep coming regardless of not having a paycheck, the first thing I did, and I don't remember if I noticed it that day or if I had already thought of it, I don't know. I applied at DoorDash.com, one of the growing number of delivery apps. There's Uber Eats and Grubhub, and there's something else out there. And so DoorDash was the one that at the time I happened to know about and know about their web address. So I thought, well, let's just try it. You know, a little money's better than none. It's kind of fun. And starting in September, I achieved a quality level status that enables me to earn more and go out doing deliveries a lot more at my pace and my schedule. And that is really wonderful. And on a good day, I can earn 18, 19, 20 bucks an hour, more than I was getting paid to stand around a news studio. So, and if we strip away the differences of the two jobs, just how they're two entirely different jobs, and we just look at how much it stimulates my brain and my interest level, I'm actually having more fun with DoorDash. So there's that. So if you live in Redmond and you don't feel like going out and catching the coronavirus, go to DoorDash.com, download their app, order something, and I might be the one who brings it to your doorstep. In episode 31, I briefly mentioned my opportunity to actually act as a trainer for Parker Agee, and Brad writes back, "When you led that workout, didn't that give you more satisfaction than 7 months at the old place?" Yes, it did. To the point where, do I have that quote? I don't. No, I do. Thomas said, "Bro, you were born to be a trainer. You have that type of personality." And that's just the short part of what Thomas said. Thomas and several have encouraged me to actually go get a personal trainer certificate and start marketing myself that way as well. The notion has struck me. It's a little bit pricey. And I've had a couple people who have actually gotten their personal training certificates say it's actually not worth it. So we're kind of back to the same issue we had with Doug and the other guys on Bodyfat. Everybody's got an opinion. You know, the people who are telling me to go for it, maybe they've had a good experience. The people who are telling me don't bother, maybe they had a bad experience. Is there a right or wrong answer here? Haven't the foggiest. Do I have the personality to be a personal trainer? I think so. I generally tend to be pretty friendly around most people. Brad comes back. One more, I guess the second quote from Brad on episode 31. He wanted to know, were those deer really on the track? No, Brad, I have a couple of Hollywood friends who specialize in CGI, and they created those deer for me. That track was most of that track wasn't even there. That's a sound. I'm kidding, of course. All right. I'm giving Brad a slightly hard time because he's part of a group of friends on my bodybuilding network who occasionally give me a hard time. So yes, those deer were there. They are accustomed enough to the population that they'll just come wandering out. And the college that I was jogging at in that footage is on the far side of Bend. It's almost bordering forest area. So a lot of deer are easily visible. I have clobbered one on the road. Yeah, I've encountered deer actually just right across our street. And we live in the center of Redmond. So we still have plenty of city outside of our house. We aren't near the edge of the town anywhere. And deer they come up out of the wooded areas in the canyon and just walk around at night, eating stuff. To wrap up today, I want to give a shout out to a couple of new subscribers to my video series. One of them I've already quoted, that's G-Vuz. He informed me just earlier this week that he has watched all 31 episodes. So congratulations, G-Vuz. You made it through. You've spent 31 times 20 minutes watching a middle-aged, overweight guy try to get in shape, and you're still alive. So, and then another one is named James Brown. I feel good. Who says, yes, he's heard that joke all of his life. He lives down in Alabama. He is a counselor of sorts at a college down there, likes working with young people and helping them move forward in life. In fact, he just likes encouraging people in general, which I've found out. We first exchanged messages on September 2nd, just after he had opened his Instagram account. Happened to stumble across mine, which I will give a shout out to here, whether he likes it or not. He opened it on September 1st, and he was a little self-conscious about even promoting it. I pointed out that he's already in fantastic shape and shouldn't be shy about it at all. So I'm going to push him out of his comfort zone just that much further by mentioning his actual Instagram here and inviting you to check it out and cheer him on. But we have spent the month of September actually becoming very good online friends. He's someone I would hope very much to meet one day. And who knows, maybe in person we'll hate each other, but at least online we have become excellent friends. I'm going to quote a few things here from the month of conversations that we've had. Not to boast, not to give myself a big head, but just because some of you have said it in the past, and it is part of why I make this video series. He says, after, I think he watched like 2 or 3 episodes, he started from the very beginning, and in one day he watched 15. But somewhere around the time he had finished the second video, he said, "I'm a huge fan and really want you to keep at it. It's like if the story ends well, there's tangible hope." Now, with regards to what he's talking about there, and again, this is just an excerpt from a long conversation, we both talked about why he likes my channel and why I started my channel the way I did. I started my channel from the very beginning because I've seen so many YouTube channels that start after the guy is famous and flawless. And so you don't get the whole story. You don't see the years of his going from skinny or fat kid to this exemplary icon that he is now. And in fact, James actually said somewhere else in the conversation, he'd see these guys on YouTube and and just seeing them would encourage him to get started. But after seeing no results after 2 months, he'd lose steam because all he saw was the guy who was already there. So one of the reasons James took to my channel is you're looking at a guy who started at, when this channel started, I was 45, 44. I was 44. And so you're seeing the whole journey. I still don't even know where this journey will end, or if it will have an ending that rewards you all for sticking around. I hope so. I hope that eventually this body has all of you going, "Wow, I'm glad I stuck around." But so this video series, James says, it gives him hope. There's tangible hope, he says. He gets to see someone else going through the struggles, and not just the actual struggle, being at the gym trying to lift something heavier, but the struggle of sitting here telling myself, I need to get to the gym. It's time, get to the gym, Brian, and getting over the mentality and getting out of my lazy ruts and all of that stuff. So yes, if all of that, if all of the, as Oliver Cromwell once said, paint me as I am, warts and all. So if the warts of my fitness story can help encourage you that ordinary people can do this, and all of those people are, who do I follow? Simeon Panda, Jason Poston, all of those big names out there they are ordinary people. They were once young people who just got started. That's what they did. They got started one day. I think that the only difference is they didn't tell their whole story on their YouTube channels. And if any of them ever stumble across this episode right here and hear this, I would encourage them, create an episode, spend 20 minutes, spend 30, showing all of us what it took to go from the day you decided to get in shape to what we now look up to. Okay. He adds, people got to hear/see this. People want this, and you're an interesting person. I'm locked in watching this. So I have a captive audience of at least one person. And he finishes up with, you're dope. So it's official. You heard it from James Brown of Alabama. Brian Johnson is dope. And if any of you ever want to challenge that, you got to go through James to get to me. You got to go through me to get to James. You'll have to take on both of us.
It's never been easy to notice when you are bothered, and making you smile, it couldn't be any harder. Just as I was ready to clear my throat, I messed around and I forgot my joke. We were silent all the way until we saw the marina. She was begging me to hurry like she had a subpoena. Just as we were ready to get on the boat, she said she messed around, forgot